Ah, Harvest is the name of episode 3 of season 2 of Andor, and God, I needed a drink after that episode. Like, I really loved it, but my God, there was a lot in that. Shit really hit the fan. So, as with all my other reviews, I review every single episode of a show separately. So, if you want to see my reviews for episodes 1 and 2, there's a link in the description to a playlist where you can see all my Andor reviews, including the first 2 episodes of season 2. Now, this episode starts a little different than usual because usually the logo shows and then it goes to black and then it cuts to the scene. In this case, it actually does what the movies do when, the text has gone and it just pans somewhere in space. It does the same here. It pans in space. I thought it was a nice touch, actually. I really appreciated it. But it pans over to Cassian in a ship who finally manages to contact Clea. But the moment that Clea tells him not to go to Mina Rau, that's essentially his cue to go to Mina Rau because they need him over there. And I very much get the feeling that Cassian just really wanted to do something because for the past couple of days he has been like prisoner, not being able to do anything while he's on a mission and he needs to do something because he knows the situation that his friends are in over on Mina Rau. And speaking of, everyone is just having a nice barbecue or whatever the hell they're doing. It's just everyone is eating, just taking their time. I'm like, guys, were you not packing in the last episode? But I suppose, people need to eat, as the previous episode actually reminded us with the rebels on Yavin 4. But everyone is taking just a little bit too much time, especially Wilmon, who's just saying goodbye to his girlfriend. It's like, okay, well, we're on the clock here. We really are. And the imps come in before they actually get to go because the imps are ahead of schedule. This did make me wonder if potentially Callan was actually an insider, but based on the look that Callan shares with Brasso, it's like, I actually think that Brasso and Callan are okay, and that Callan really was just trying to help them, but the imps were just smarter. Hey, to be fair, sometimes the imps are actually capable. It's just that we don't really see it in a whole lot of the movies and other TV shows because most of the time it's a joke about, stormtroopers are not able to hit anything. But that's kind of what I appreciate about Andor, that, the imps are capable sometimes. So this is, once again, a great example of setup and payoff. In the first episode, they're hovering over the planet. The second episode, they come to visit. And this third episode, they come again, and now, well, they have to fight. But the unfortunate thing is, the moment that the imps come, all of the people that need to leave are scattered all over the place. Like, Bix is alone and gets approached by Nazi German, whatever the fuck his name is, and this scene is hard to watch. I've actually seen all 3 episodes 3 times now, and the more that I watch the episodes, the harder it is to watch the scene with Bix, because I did not expect to see an attempted rape scene in Star Wars, but here we are, and I'm just happy that at the end Bix is the winner and leaves without too much damage done to her. Like, of course, he did touch her, but that's about all he did. And, drink, honestly, Jesus Christ. But probably the MVP of all of this is Brasso. Brasso is doing everything to, make sure that everyone is okay, that Wilmon is fine, Bix is fine, that, he even saves Callan by attempting to make it look like Callan is actually the traitor. But no, Callan is fine. It's just Brasso is trying to save him. And despite all of that, despite him trying to save everyone else, he can't save himself. And I think it's kind of like a Jedi, A Jedi is selfless and will sacrifice himself for the lives of others. But the way it is done, it's just heartbreaking, especially that Cassian gets in there. Cassian arrives kind of on time, kind of in the nick of time, but he still can't save Brasso, and the end is just heartbreaking to see all of them. Like, when I watched this episode, I had to tear up. I could not hide the emotions because Brasso is such a nice guy and he didn't deserve that. But as a slight contrast to the very depressing, heartbreaking storyline on Mina Rau, there are a couple more fun storylines. Probably the most fun one is the dinner with Dedra, Syril, and his mom. It's honestly so weird to see these characters in this setting because Dedra and Syril are just two of the most serious, job dedicated people. So the fact that they are together in the first place makes sense, but it's just a little bit weird to see them. But then to have to host a dinner where they have to dress up and smile and act nice is so weird to see, but it was really funny. Honestly, it's a bit of comedy in this episode, at least to me. It was really funny. There are some people who might not think it was really needed, necessary, whatever. I really needed it in this episode. Just some levity, especially because also Cyril's mom, Eedy, is just insane, honestly. Like, in the first season, we don't see her too much. The moments that we see her, she's just trying to talk to her son. But now she just does whatever the hell she wants. She doesn't even care or seem to care what anyone might think of her, despite the fact that she has horrible table manners or horrible manners in general with anyone. Like, she just does whatever the hell she wants. She's like a free spirit. She doesn't care. And then Dedra is like, okay, shut the fuck up. I'm going to tell you what's up. That was like, wow. Thank you for actually doing that, because to be fair, if I meet an Eedy in real life, I'm also just awkward, and I'm kind of like Syril, that I'm like, okay, can we stop, please? Can we do something to change the situation? So I was so happy to see Dedra talk like that. And while I don't have problems with my in-laws, because to be fair, I've met them twice, I can completely understand, the need for some people to talk to their in-laws in the way that Dedra does. So that was very funny, honestly. But then, of course, the final and probably my favorite storyline of the arc is Chandrila. The last day of the wedding is here. Leda is all dressed up in her gown. And, well, obviously she's very nervous about all of it, just like her mom. Now, is that because Leda's future husband, Stekken, and her seem so awkward at everything that they do? Probably. That's kind of the thing that you get with arranged marriages, I feel. Now, I have absolutely no experiences with arranged marriages or something like that, but I can only imagine that, if all of a sudden you're set up when you're this young in life, you probably have a little bit of difficulty really connecting to the other person. So it makes sense. But the thing with Mon Mothma specifically, I think that Mon is realizing this is the last day that she'll have her daughter and maybe her husband, and also take Homa, and just her entire life. Her life, as it was up until this point, is about to cease, and she realizes that. And that's why probably she wants to talk Leda out of it. Like, she doesn't want to leave this life because it's a very comfortable life. She's made her life very comfortable, very nice for herself, and she needs to give it all up. And she realizes that right here. And that's probably the reason that she starts drinking. And my God, if you told me after I saw this scene in Return of the Jedi,
many Bothans died to bring us this information,
that Mon Mothma would at any point be partying, drinking, getting absolutely smashed on alcohol and just partying her ass off at her daughter's wedding, I would not believe you. But here we are. It's honestly surreal to see this.
Bothans.
But in fairness, I am all for it because I'm actually a fan of house music. I really like the song Niamos that is playing throughout all of this. I really love the vibe of it. It's a great song, and I see a lot of people online also really liking it. So thank you, Andor, for giving us a house music club song. Like, that's awesome to hear, I should say, in Star Wars. And that Mon Mothma is just going nuts to it. It's kind of surreal to see this, but I'm like, I am all for it, so cheers. But just once again, I want to give credit to the people who created all of Chandrila here. Like, the look of everything, the sets are amazing, the costumes are amazing. and also just the culture of it all. The fact that you have certain customs and there is a complete culture on Chandrila. And I understand that, all of this is based on real life. Like, you can see all of this in real life cultures all around the world. But that's probably why it feels so real, why I'm watching the show and I can completely believe everything, because it is based on real life. That's why it feels real. And I really love that they did that they gave that thought to make sure that, Chandrila really feels like a culture that actually exists with people that exist, and that this is just done all the time. I can so believe that, and that's just one of the favorite things for me about Andor, where I never really question what's happening on screen. Everything that happens, I'm like, yeah, that's what happens in real life as well. So might as well see that in Star Wars, right? Now, another reason that Mon Mothma might be getting drunk is because she knows that Take Homa is about to die. Now, the thing is that she doesn't actually see Cinta. Vel does. And this was my reaction when I saw Cinta.
Take Homa?
Yes.
I wasn't sure.
Where's Otto?
I don't know. I was just called to fill in. I was afraid I wouldn't find you.
And here I am.
Now, I did a full reaction to the entire episode, but there was not much reactive of me, but that was probably the moment that stood out the most, and I wanted to share that because when you see Cinta, you know what's up. And once again, just credit for, setup and payoff. In the first season, we saw what Cinta is capable of. She will kill people in cold blood, no question. She just does that, and that's why the moment she shows up, I'm like, oh shit, I instantly realize what is going to happen. We don't even need to see what she really does. We just know, okay, Tay, you're dead. That's just it. And Val gets very depressed off of it. Val is like, oh my god, this again. And the fact that also Luthen was the one to do that, essentially like give the message to Cinta, make sure that this is all set up. Maybe Vel is going to go against Luthen quite soon. Of course, not too soon, because the next 3 episodes will take place a year after this, and if at any point, Luthen is divided or whatever, then that will definitely take a while. But I have the feeling that this is definitely a moment where Vel is not happy with Luthen, and this is not the first time that Vel has expressed any kind of unhappiness with him and his methods. So I think that's setting up for something that is yet to come. But I think, the conclusion of this episode is that whenever there's anything really bad happening, just put on some house music and drink. Look, I always knew that the show was great. I already love this show. I'm already praising it to death every single time that I talk about it. So how is it that even after so many episodes, I can still find more things to love about it on a personal level, I've been talking about the show over the past couple of weeks. I've absolutely adored talking about it because it very much feels, to me, personally, like I very much relate to it. I adore everything about it. The way that it's made. Tony Gilroy, you have created something so special. I am so glad that we still have episodes left in this show. Not a whole lot, but I am absolutely going to savor these last 9 episodes. I love this show so much. So, with that said, do you maybe have a different opinion? Do you maybe think, okay, well, I like the show, but there are a couple of issues that I have? Let me know in the comments below. Let me just know what your thoughts and opinions are on these first 3 episodes of Andor. Please click right here to subscribe to my channel and see more Star Wars content that I do. Or maybe you need another video, then click right here. I don't know what video it is, but probably something good. So enjoy that. Check out my reviews next week for the next 3 episodes of Andor. And until then, may the Force be with you.